Okay, y'all, good morning, good morning. It's Monday morning. It rained again last night, so I'm gonna go over here to the bamboo site. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of digging or nothing because it's so muddy. Well, it'll make it muddy. I got two big stumps that I'm gonna dig out for the owner over there, but I planned on doing that today, but I won't. Today is probably just going to be just a few hours of just straight brush cutting. I need to look at something on the county site here. I want to make sure that I don't get off the property, because as I got down into another part over there, I didn't see the boundaries, and I just kind of, I don't have to have hardcore, but I kind of need to know how the land goes there. So yeah, another thing, I got a list of things that I need to do, and I'm going to start accumulating all the stuff I need to do that with. I'm going to be changing the oil in this truck. I'm going to change the oil in the skid steer, oil and oil filter, oil and oil filter. They were wanting like $130 at the oil change place down here to change the oil in this truck. You know, I mean, and I thought that was kind of high, but you know, after I look at the price of oil and how much oil it takes and all that, it ain't really that high. But also, the biggest thing that I don't like about taking my truck to oil change places is that they slip up, man. I've had them not tighten the damn oil filter up tight enough where it'd be dripping, had to take it back. I've had them not put enough oil back in it. I've had them drain the oil and not change the filter. I've had it drip oil from the plug on the pan underneath the truck. Yeah. Sort of like, you know, when you take your vehicle to get tires, you know, and then, you know, you get new tires or whatever, and then the lugs aren't tight, or you know, they forget the hubcaps or whatever. You know, whenever it's not a skilled mechanic job, like, you know, even then, you know, anytime I don't have to take my truck to a mechanic, I don't, put it that way. Because especially for the little routine stuff, because they can make a mistake and they're charging me too, you know, and then I have to look at what more lucrative things do I have going on. You know, I'll go over here and run the brush cutter for a few hours. I'll come back, I'll stop by Napa and get all the stuff I need. I'll fill the skid steer up with fuel. And then once I get back home, I'll change the oil in my truck. It needs changing. It's been about 4,500 miles since I changed it last. I know the thing's fixing to come on and tell me. So, yeah. I know a lot of people take their vehicles to the, you know, to the shop to get their oil changed. I don't do that. I never have been one to do that. I've always changed my own oil. Now, I did change the oil in my Kia at the shop, and that was the last time I did that. Okay guys, so I'm over here. I just unchained the Bobcat, and I'll tell you what, by law, man, it's really too wet. But considering that I'm going to be way up in the woods and stuff, you know, it's doable. But you can see how wet the ground is. But this is looking really good, man. Now, yesterday I never did dig out, and I'm not going to be doing any digging today. No digging. All just straight brush cutting and pushing the debris that I cut. So, you know, without further ado, and here we go. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's just too wet to really do anything that's not in the woods. Like, I was going to dig out a couple stumps, but I'm not doing any digging today. I may push over some of the saplings with the brush cutter, but I'm not going to be putting on the grapple bucket and doing anything like that. So yeah, y'all, I had to get me a jacket, man. Looks like that needs to be picked up some. What the hell's up with that? So this is what I'm talking about on this. See, the reason this is like that is because this thing got turned in there because the bolt on the other side was missing. I got a brand new one of these at home, and I got a new bolt too for the other side. So I'm going to do that just as soon as I can, but as long as the owner is over here wanting me to work, and then that's what I'm going to do, man. Yeah, so I filled the machine up with fuel this morning, and y'all see what I'm saying by when I always am talking about the you know, the fuel thing. I know a lot of guys are giving me some grief about it. Well, that's not that big of a deal, but it really is a big deal. It really is. The only way I can put fuel in the machine is like you see it sitting right now. If I were to put another attachment on there, then I have to back the machine up on there. Now we could say it's the trailer, but this is a 14,000 pound trailer, 16 plus 2. If I had a 20-foot trailer, 18 plus the 2, and when they say plus 2, y'all, this is what they mean right here. And with Gatormaid, I don't know if everybody, if all the manufacturers word it like that, but this is the and 2. It's 16 foot to here, and then and 2 dovetail, then the ramps. So if the trailer's not long enough, and if this trailer's not long enough, right, for a Bobcat T190, which is a small machine, it's not a big machine at all. If this trailer's too small for a T190, I mean, just think if I had a bigger machine. Yeah, it's another thing that I'm gonna have to think about when I do eventually buy another machine. So the other machine is going to be bigger, that's a given. It's going to be more powerful, that's a given, and it's going to have to be able to fuel it from the side. I don't care what side, just one side or the other. Having to open up the back door to fuel this thing is just this is the only way you can do it. Just think about it. If I were to have the grapple bucket on this trailer and the brush cutter on the machine, I can't pull up in here and put the brush cutter, you know, up in the front here, even if there is space. But then that puts all the weight of the skid steer on the very rear of the trailer. You can't do that. The heaviest part of the Bobcat is this back piece. All this, it's the engine, and this is where this is how they got it weighted down right here. So all the weight's back here. So yeah, a lot of, I'm gonna check the hydraulic fluid in it too, man. It had a leak at one time, but I haven't been seeing any fluid since I filled it up. Well, it's been, I don't know, it's been a minute. And a hydraulic leak don't normally go away. I mean, see, this thing is still full of fluid, you know. Y'all see the bubble right there? Y'all see that bubble way at the top? So, yeah. Okay, guys. I'm gonna just do this whole area right here. Now I don't know. Now I don't know how it is up north. You know, I have no idea. But down here in the south, y'all, we got what we call fat lighter. And this is fat lighter right here. Now that's a slang term that I use. But this stuff right here, y'all, is basically a, and I know most people know about it, but I'm trying to get good content. Basically, it is, it's a pine tree that's died, and then all the sap comes to the bottom. You could get a lighter, and you could light this right here, and it'll light up like, it'll light up about like diesel fuel. You don't have to do anything. You see how rotten it is? It's kind of all this, but this stuff right here is hard as a rock. And this is a whole piece of it. And you can see where it's all rotten and busted. That's not the lighter knot. The lighter knot is all this hard stuff. Oh, how hard that is, man. And it has a smell. So like this core right here, this right here is probably not, I don't know, it looks like it. This might be all be lighter. Fat lighter, what they call it. So what I'll do with this right here, since I know it's right here, I'm gonna take it over there and put it where I put those all that firewood at, because this is good stuff right here to start a fire with, man. And all it is just a pine, one of these pines that got cut down and left. Now down in here, if you go on down, that's where I ran into that fence. Now when I look at the property line here, y'all see the pond right there? I'm trying to give y'all a visual, maybe you know, where I'm at versus maybe an image I'll put up. But the property line, there's one side of the pond there, and if you look right through the woods right there, I don't know if you can see it, that's the dam that I cleared off a few years ago. And these are the row of houses in it, and you can see I done come all the way down, all the way down right there, and then into there. And that's how exactly how the property does. That tree right there, y'all see that one that's dead? I'm gonna push it over if I can. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of digging and stuff, but I'm gonna grab this stuff right here, this lighter, and I'm gonna, with this fat lighter, and I'm gonna put it up on top of the brush cutter, and I'm gonna move it out of the way somewhere to the side. But see, one of the biggest things that I want to do is I don't care nothing about clearing it like this, but that's all you can do, because see, there used to be big trees in here, and the pupwooders came in, you know, about 8 or 9 years ago and cut all the big trees. So it's just been just, you know, thick, nasty growth like this. So it looks like it's wide open here, but that's how many trees they took out of here when they pupwooded all of this. So I wish we had some, you know, a few big trees spaced out in here, but we don't. And I'm not done pushing trees over either. So for instance, it looks like we got it looks like we got these 2 trees right here. Now that looks terrible, right? But I can get the brush cutter between these 2, but I can't get the brush cutter between these 2. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna push this one over. Yeah. What kind of tree is that? Is that a freaking, is that a sweet gum? I don't know, man. That looks like a white oak right there. But so you got to be able to pull this stuff out of places like this so I can get to it, man. And see right here, was a great big pine tree. You can see the mound there. That was a big pine tree that they cut down. And you can see all over the place they left pine tops and stuff. So we'll leave this tree here, right? Of course, we're going to leave that tree, but we're going to probably take that one out. And then that'll make it where I can come right in here with a brush cutter or whatever here on out. I want to be able to space this stuff out better. It doesn't take that much more effort. I don't know, we'll see. That's pretty big for me to be trying to push over. If it don't come up, it may not come out real easy, man. This is this is a sweet gum right here. I don't know what that is. I don't know, man. Maybe some of you guys can tell me what kind of trees these are. Like, what kind of tree is this, man? Is that? Because it is wiry, man. I mean, it's, I don't know, man. But see, all this in here was looking like that. And that's, I mean, that's just useless. You know? Vines and everything. It'll take a few years for everything to start really kind of, you know, benefiting from what we're doing. Well, Ray, I wonder why he's doing all that, man. Well, just to clear it up where he can see, man, you know, just to kind of make the property a little bit neater, I guess, you know. But the property goes all the way down on the other side of the pond there. But see, all this from the bottom of this little hill right here, about 30 feet, 45 feet from my bobcat down the hill, well, that's a wash. And water comes flying down the hill there. And there's a drainage right there that goes right into the pond. And that drainage is probably, well, I know it's gonna be the drainage from a whole freaking cul-de-sac up there. That's a cul-de-sac right there. So, I'm not gonna get too close down into all that. I'll probably go down, and I'm gonna push this in 30 or 40 more feet to that gully right there. There's a gully. See that gully right there? I'm gonna push this thick stuff back a little bit. Maybe push that big tree over. But when you're pushing a tree like that over, you got to hit it slow. You can't just go up to it and knock the hell out of it, because the top will break and fall down on the cab of the freaking bobcat. And the bobcat is running like brand new money. I don't know, dude. I'm scared to do anything to it, man. I don't want to do nothing to it. It's running so freaking good, man. It's hard to walk in here. The ground's real uneven and stuff. But it's looking a lot better. But what I want to do now is, after I grab that lighter knot, what I want to do is I want to come through here on the very edge and just get some of the wiry stuff. See all this low stuff? I can't stand it. And the whole goal is to be able to, you know, see the big trees and, you know, not have all this wiry stuff, you know, vines choking everything out and all that there. But the bobcat is running like a champ. All right, y'all. So I got 4 hours in over here, and that's, you know, that's about what I was trying to do. It's 3:30, so, and I got a lot done, man. I just ran the brush cutter. I didn't do no digging. We'll see. Zach could have worked over here today if he had a ride, because see, I got an area that we need to cut with a lawnmower. And see, if Zach had a ride to my, if Zach, you know, had a ride to my house, then he could, you know, drive the other truck over here, and then he could make money, and then, you know, take my truck back home. But he had to ride home. And see, I'm not going to be doing all that, man. So I mean, he basically got knocked out of about $75 today. because I didn't want to carry him back home. I saw him this morning, but that was just to pay him from the other day. But he's not having a ride, man. It's killing him right now, you know. And that's the way it is, man. I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't really know what to tell him, because he ain't making no money now. See, his buddy let him use his car, and that was good. But see, that car broke down. That car is at the gas station, sitting there. Been sitting at the gas station for probably at least 3 or 4 weeks. And you know, like I told Zach, the whole time. But by the time he started driving his buddy's car, the summer was about over. But he had many checks this summer where if he had just done halfway right with his money, he'd have a ride. Not having no ride is ugly out here, because I'm not going to be taking nobody home. I'm not going and picking folks up and paying them good money. I'm not going to pick nobody up, bring them back to my house, and then when we get done working, carry them back home. I'm not fixing to do that, man. That ain't gonna happen. That's just me. A lot of bosses might do that, but I ain't gonna be doing all that, man. So you got a problem, See, last summer, when at the beginning of the summer he had that guy living over there, he always seems to figure out a way. But a lot of times when somebody lets you use their car, or somebody's giving you a ride, or whatever, you can't never count on that 100% for sure. I mean, you can't. 100%. I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard for him to find somebody to bring him to and from work. I think he had that Brian guy doing it, but it's gonna be hard for him. And I know I'm not gonna be running up and down the road like that. And I might have a car that I can sell him, but he ain't got no money. So you just got to do good with your money when you're in Zach's spot. At least, until you get a car and until you get things situated, He's going to be, even now, it's a struggle for him to get a ride to my house. You notice we haven't been running the other truck. That's because if he gets a ride to my house, he won't have a ride home, or one or the other. And I don't want to do all that. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do all that. And ain't enough money out here for me to do all that. When I go sit on the Bobcat and make good money, and I ain't got to do anything, I'm not going to be spending an hour on the road just to make sure a guy comes to work. And then they get their check, and then they don't want to do anything like they're supposed to. I mean, he ain't done nothing bad, but, he ain't done nothing positive either, other than just pay the rent. But if you're making $500-600 every week, that $125 in rent, that ain't nothing, man. I mean, what's he doing with the other $300 or $400? Got to get some discipline about yourself, I got to ride. Well, see, he's losing out on money too, because he don't have a ride. The only way that he could do that job over there and me not have to do a lot of running around is for me to load the lawnmower up on the trailer with the skid steer. Man, I don't want a guy that come to work, hop in the other truck, do the work, whatever it may be, bring the truck back, get in his car, and leave. That's what I want. Any job that you have. And it ain't about liking Zach or loving Zach or a good worker or not a good worker. That ain't got nothing to do with it. He can't count on Sarah to bring him to work. She pretty much said that she won't. So, I mean, he might be able to get a ride from her here and there, but she ain't gonna let him get a ride every day. People just don't want to spend their time taking somebody to work and picking them up. It ain't even about money. People just don't want to do that. So, as long as he had his buddy's car, it was cool. But see, having your buddy's car, that can end at any moment, like it did. You know, it's easy to borrow somebody's car. You don't have to sacrifice no money to buy the car. You don't really have to do any kind of mechanical stuff to the car. I mean, all you gotta do is put gas in it. That's easy. You ain't gotta buy it. Of course, you know, if he should have been trying to get a deal with his buddy to buy the car or something. You know, that's what he should have been doing. But that ain't what he did. He rode that wave until the wave stopped. See, I love riding a wave, but when I'm riding a wave, I'm thinking, okay, I'm riding a wave. I need to seize the moment. I need to make sure that before this wave ends, I got another wave coming, i.e., my own vehicle, or working toward that, or got a plan or something. See, Zach doesn't really plan for anything. You know, and you know the saying, you fail to plan, plan to fail.